In this video of the T9 Automobile Block series, we are going to jump into working drawings, and I'm going to show you how to set up multiple pages within a drawing in Autodesk Inventor. And if you're wondering what a working drawing is, we've already done them in our class together. We've modeled various parts, and then afterward we did a drawing where we added multiple views like a front, top, and right side, and also added the shaded isometric and multiple dimensions. So that was a detailed drawing, and now we're going to create a packet of those detailed drawings, which they'll typically call, working drawings or detailed drawings. That kind of go hand in hand. But where is that used in industry? You'll typically see construction companies or manufacturing companies using them, and they use these drawings to build or manufacture the product because they need to know how big everything, what it looks like. So that's how you can communicate the design with those various companies. Now to get started, the first thing you're going to want to do is open up Autodesk Inventor. And if you have me in class, we're going to be using that master template that I've already provided. So if you have me in class, you're going to go File, Open, navigate to our shared area, and go into the master template folder. And in there, you'll find the master template and you can open it. If for some reason you don't have me in class and you're watching this video, you could simply just do a File, New, and use the ANSI inch IDW for your drawing, and they just use a standard title block. But if you have me, open up the template, please. And then the first thing we should do is a file, save as, and you are going to navigate to your student folder and go into your T9 Automobile Blocks folder. So I'm going to go find mine. And then you could just call it T9 Working Drawing. So I'm going to rename this T9 Working Drawings. And I'm going to add a 2 after mine because I already have this done. So you won't have the 2 there. And then you can hit save. And we're not going to be using this grading scale, so you could just left click on that and delete it. When initially starting any drawing, the first thing that the engineer or user needs to figure out is the paper size that they want to use. So right now, the template that I gave you is set up for a standard A size, which is 8.5 by 11 inches, which is your standard piece of paper. The size that we're going to be using, though, is a B size. So if you take a look at this one, if I zoom out a little bit, this is a B size, which is 11, which is in this direction. I'm sorry, 7. This is 11. Sorry, 11 by 17. So an A size is an 8.5 by 11, and a B size is 11 by 17. So right away on this first sheet, we need to adjust the paper size. So to do that, here's our first sheet. It's called Template. I'm going to right-click and edit that sheet. And here is where you can change the paper size. So I don't want an A size, I want a B size. Notice the numbers are changing right with it, and I say OK. As soon as I switch that and I click OK, the title block automatically adjusts, and I now have a B-size piece of paper. The other thing that I want to change while I'm on this sheet 1 is the name. Right now it's called Template, and I don't want the first page to be called Template because the first page is going to be the title page. So I'm going to name this Title Page. Okay. Notice it automatically puts a 1 at the end of it, which indicates that that is page 1. So we just renamed it, we changed the size. And then while we're talking about sheets, let's go ahead and fill in the title block for this first page. And if you take a look at my example here, you're going to fill in your name, the title, and the scale, and the period. Notice the scale is NA. The reason it's not available is because we're going to be using the JPEG image that you rendered of your T9 Automobile Blocks on this first sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and expand the title block here and double click on field text, and then I'm going to fill in my name in all caps, the project title, and again this is going to be T9 Automobile Blocks for this first page, and then the scale we said is going to be N period A period, and then the period that I have you in class is what you're entering in the last cell there. Click OK. Fills in the title block. You'll notice that the date and the file name are not going to be on this first page, and that's because those are automatically associated with a model or part file if I brought one in. And since this is a JPEG, it doesn't have that information attached to it. So that's why, and actually the author as well, that's why those three areas are going to remain blank. So don't worry about that on this first initial title page. So we kind of have the first page set up, but if you saw in my example, there are 13 total pages, and we only got the first one. So if you take a look at the names that I've set up, the next page is the exploded, then I have a detailed drawing of the front, the two block, and so on, all the way to the last part, which is a tire. So we're going to have 13 total pages that we need to set up. And what I like to typically do is get those set up right away in the beginning, so I kind of know the path that I need to take to get to the end of this drawing. Or drawings is what I should say. Okay, so let me show you then how to make a new sheet. So we already have one, we want the next one. So actually I'm going to collapse, or I'm sorry, yeah, I'm going to collapse that. So that way that we just see title page 1. Now up here, this is the main file. If you right click that main file, you can do a new sheet. So I'm going to click on new sheet. I'm going to type in my name again. The title, now this one is going to be the front, if you remember what we just saw. This next second page is the front. And then the scale. Now if you look in your OneNote binder, I provided on the working drawing page, if you scroll down, you'll see all the sheets that we're going to use, as well as the scale that you're going to be using on each one of those sheets. Now, normally as an engineer, you wouldn't know that ahead of time. I've done that front load work for you. You would have to figure that out as you're making your sheets, like what's going to fill the page. So I've already done this for you, so you can fill out the title block on all your sheets. So we're doing, oh, and I lied. We're not doing the front. The second page is the exploded assembly. So that is exploded assembly. And the scale of these exploded assembly is going to be 1:1. And then I'm simply going to type in the period that I'm in Mr. West class. Click OK. Now you'll notice that it doesn't bring the name with it. It actually creates a duplicate of the first page. The title block's right, but the name over here in the browser is not right. So you just need to double click there and type exploded assembly. So you're going to have to do that 10 more times for each page. You're going to right click, new sheet, fill in your name, all caps. The project title, page 3 is the front. The scale of that one was 1:1, and then the period. And then I have to rename that page in the browser. So you have to do that again for all the remaining pages. Go ahead and use this information. You'll notice the last one is as noted. The reason why is because the tire page, we're going to be using multiple different scales. So that's why that says as noted. So go ahead and fill out all of those and make all those pages in Inventor. Also, make sure you're saving incrementally. Just go up there, hit the save button, so that way you're not losing your work. And then in a second, I'm going to show you how to do the title page. So go pause the video and go do that. Alright, so now I made all my pages, and I'm going to double click back up here onto the title page. You'll notice when you click onto a page, it turns white, and everything else is grayed out. So just be aware that if I double click on front, notice how that's white, everything else is grayed out. So double click on the title page, and on the title page, we want to have this image that we rendered of our T9. So how do you bring in an image into a drawing? You're going to go ahead up and go to I believe it's the Manage tab up top here, and then you're going to click on Insert Object. So Manage tab, Insert Object. Since we've saved this on the computer, you're going to go ahead, create from File, click on that, and then we want to browse for the file, so I'm going to click here. And then I'm going to navigate to my T9 folder. I'm going to look for that image that I made, that I rendered, and I'm going to hit Open. Hit OK, and then the top, right now I'm placing this where I want it to go. I'm going to try and place it somewhere close to the top left corner up here without going outside of the border, and I'm going to left click. Now the other thing is I want this to fill the page as much as possible. If you notice, if you just hover over the middle, you can just click and move it. But if you hover over a corner, you get that arrows where you can make it larger. Oops, I'm going to undo, Control Z. I just need to see that, and then I can make it bigger. And I just want to be careful to stay within the border. That looks pretty good. You can move it a little bit if you want to center or move the actual model, or the picture I should say. And then once you're happy with it, you can just click off of it, do a save, and that is it for this video.